It was always about generating new work. What's next? How do I make a bigger impact? Who else can I get to? Like, I want a moment with the greatest voices of music of my generation. I am Jonathan Mannion, photographer and director, and this is my crafted story. If someone came up to me and asked me, who's Jonathan Mannion? First and foremost, I just love to be a good human being. What I do is not who I am. It helps that who I am enables what I do. Photographer and director, I prefer to keep things pretty simple and humble. I don't think anybody is really interested in sort of the overbearing delivery of like, do you know who the fuck I am? Like, no one cares, bro. Guess what? Let the work speak for itself, be a good human being, and keep challenging yourself to be creative. I think about that early journey. In '93, when I graduated college, there was an opportunity to come to New York to work for the legendary Richard Avedon. I was a 22-year-old kid. You enter this like portal that just opens. Nas and Illmatic, Wu-Tang having the time of their life, Jay opening up, Biggie, like it was a secondary wave. Like '93 was such a critical year in music. There were developing movements, and like I just wanted to be part of everything. So you're just in the moment like, holy shit, Biggie's on stage, killing it. The crowd is wild, they're all dressed up. Little Kim is grabbing her wigs. It was pure energy. Getting a little bit of a name early on, understanding that I could be counted on, pulled me into a lot of different worlds. And then once the album started hitting, that was the biggest calling card. Wait, you did Reasonable Doubt? Oh, great, okay, cool. We want you to shoot this new kid, Ja Rule. The Source would hire me to shoot DMX. Why are you shooting more stuff for us? You need to shoot this guy. Good work begot good work. And I think that was the biggest flex early on of my rise, was being present, being ready, being technically able, and then loving it. There was no template for us. Like, we made it out of nothing. Everybody had a puzzle piece that contributed to it. If you were the artist in the white hot spotlight, that was an important role. That was probably the most important role at that time. But there's a supporting cast contributing to the aesthetic and the development of how hip hop wanted to be seen and where it was constantly growing to. Outkast is the supreme example, that they each embody, a certain lane. Dre might put on like a fuzzy boa and it might work, and he can pull it off. Whereas Big Boy stays a little more like, ATL sort of rooted. These leather cuffs that he had stamped out, he's like, don't go in too close, man. I don't want anybody to kind of steal my pattern and what I came up with, So protecting that vision and being the only one with it. I don't think there was any time travel happening for me at that time. Like, you're documenting moments that'll never be the same again. And there was the source of deep intrigue. These moments were important and defining and almost like a journal of a conversation with somebody who was important to you in that moment. Whenever you're given like firsts with somebody, I think about like Nelly, Ludacris, Jay. This is Country Grammar with Nelly, repping St. Louis, Simple Adornment, tattoos out. To have multiple versions of somebody as they grow is also like a major reward. Great example. Like, he knew who he was at each stage and what he was trying to present. This is actually prior to that Fader shoot. Kanye was like really only a producer at that time, and then broke out into the Louis Vuitton Don wearing the duffel over his shoulder. You're on a journey that's like, that grows and evolves. To go along for the ride, to be able to document, these critical moments, man, it's super cool. The original love of photography, it comes from developing. The image being projected on the paper, putting it into the stop bath and developer and the fixer and all that kind of stuff. Like, that was fascinating to me. And the only way to describe it would just be magic. Music has always been a touch point for me personally throughout my whole life. It was always like an ownable concept for musical exploration, that I could spend time by myself as an only child, listening to music and being taken off. Bob Marley, I Shot the Sheriff. My next door neighbors brought me over a Kiss record. So now I'm down a heavy metal lane. And then when I caught hip hop in, 88, 89, Big Daddy Kane, DOC, NWA, Ice-T, Slick Rick, like the great storytellers of that moment. I need to know everything that I can know about this. Doing an album cover for an artist was always the ultimate sort of victory for me, you know, because I was then attached to a body of musical work. So when you close your eyes and you think, Dark and Hell is Hot, okay, yeah, those songs came from that moment, but that's who that person was in that moment. I think one of the things that I, would say along the way, whether it's to myself or like, to my friends who knew that I wasn't sort of like trying to brag or anything, was like, close your eyes, think of a picture of DMX, what is it? Him with the dogs, probably. Like, cool, I did that one. Think of another one. That crazy blood shit, that was me too.
Yeah, here we go.
It was about conveying the idea, that it wasn't gore. Like, this isn't a car accident going bad and you're pulling yourself out of it. This is like divine protection, man. I mean, and that's him, and just even like color theory of the red and the anger, if you will, or that intensity and the power, and then just this clean white void, you know what I mean? Which is more the prayerful, the mission that he was on to kind of share his version of his journey and to be the voice of the unheard. We tried a lot of things, like no one's ever seen this, ever. There's really special stuff still to give, and the story now kind of lives with me to carry on and anybody who is on set. These images have real importance, and I think that you're looking at so many images per day. You don't even know how many thousands of pictures you've seen, what cuts through, and why. It's because you feel something and you stop. I'm not an observer, I'm a maker. I'm crafting these amazing stories around people. No matter how many images anybody looks at, I'm trying to cut through with an image that stops people. The calling is deeper or richer. We've lost a lot of really amazing people. The reminder to like carry the torch for them and what they would have wanted. Think about Gangstar and Gurus, of course. What does it mean to have images that mark a moment, that mark a group, that mark a sound that continues to this day through Premiere, but to acknowledge the power of the duo that made, Step Into the Arena, to have a day with these legends that, went around the world with each other. And then that just, quite frankly, to have shots of somebody who lyrically was such a powerhouse with his own style that was called home too soon is, it's deep. I think photography isn't always acknowledged with a deep reverence or a deep understanding of the effort that it takes to go in and make something important and to do it again and again and again. Every day, the best version of somebody else you're trying to pull out. All this exists because I chose to protect it. Ask anybody in the room. Protecting it is like you're protecting music. You're protecting history. Assembling all of those pieces as I look back, as I think about this book that I'm making, it's really about that. This is an opening statement. It's a statement that balances the power of the images that everybody kind of knows or loves or had up in their locker in 6th grade, mixed with, who knew you even had that? Well, I do. And I've been waiting to give it to you for a long time, and I've been holding it back because I want it to be right. And good things take time. My mom said it well, there's givers and takers. I'm here to give. There's no way to really understand without coming here and standing in front of it, or without being deeply aware of hip hop and sort of what has come before, what this wall of fame, as we've called it, looks like. There's a lot more to say. There's definitely people from this new generation that I want to spend more time with. So I think that's the focus of the next. It's not that it's like, it's done and because you didn't make the book, you're not important. Like, you're that important that I want to offer you the right time to share your story in the most beautiful way, as I've tried to do with all of these people in this book. This is barely complete. I'd say it's even a surface scratch, despite the fact that you're going to recognize 336 pages worth of artists and probably like really recognize like 100 of the shots as like, ta. It's always nice to see an array of jewelry. I mean, when I begin shoots, the stylists usually call me in like, hey, I want you to show you all this stuff that we pulled. Maybe you like some of it. It's always a great starting point. You're starting to create images in your head. So many images kind of like flashback. Timeless classic jewelry, man, it's never going anywhere.